What one thing would you do over if you could?
One thing I would do over if I could. I don't know what that would be. There might have been some days in training that I would have given over. I remember one day particularly in training, though, that I probably would want to live over again. I was on Main 11, which was the men's ward, and I was supposed to clean up what we called the dressing room. And over under the sink, there was something that had what we call a sterile towel. It's a white towel with blue streaks in it. And there that thing was sitting there and had this towel draped over it. And instead of asking somebody, I went over and peeked under the towel. You'd never guess in a million years what was under that towel, hiding it. It was a man's leg that had been cut off below the knee. It was a man's leg from the knee down, and his foot with the shoe and the sock on it and everything. And I often think, why didn't I ask, shall I do anything with that, or you want me to just leave it alone? I should have asked anyway, but I was nosy and went over and took a look, and that's what was, and that I can still see that thing under the sink. I can still see that in my mind. I see that thing sitting under there. This man's leg with the shoe and the sock and everything on. So that, I think, I could tell myself from now on, don't be so nosy, just ask somebody first. Don't just assume that it's going to be it, because it wasn't a very pleasant sight, and I can see it in my mind's eye yet. I can see that leg under the sink there. And so that's the only thing I can think of that I would do over. I can't think of very many things really that I would do over. And not that everything went so well, but I always managed to work things out, and there were things probably in nursing that I would rather have not experienced, but you just go along with it, and I remember if nowadays you'd go to work at 10:30 at night, the way I did. I went to work at 10:30 to be there at 11 at night, and really didn't think anything bad about it. You'd think that I'd be afraid to be out on the streets in Chicago at that, but those days it wasn't that bad at all. It wasn't, well, aren't you scared? That thing. I wasn't scared at all. I just walked over. The only thing I did was I always took enough money with me in case I needed to take a cab home in the nighttime if my patient would pass away, and I had to go back to my apartment. The buses stopped running around 12, 1 o'clock at night. I'd have to take a cab home to get home. And so I carried enough money, just enough for a cab to take me home. But it wasn't too... Terrible things weren't happening those days, but they're happening now. You never heard of anything like that. Girls, getting raped and disappearing, can't find them, like These girls down at the beach have disappeared now. Nobody knows where they are. And so that's all I can think of. Nothing terrible otherwise.